Give me a second.
Okay.
Got it. And then last week I left it on and we could hear the echo. So we remember we have
Do a
to.
lot of new equipment. Wow. Well, I brought stuff,
See, you can hear it. There we go.
That's another thing.
I didn't even know it was gonna be on.
I go back.
Oh, no.
They're down here now.
Ah, yeah. Okay. There we go. Done. Right. Okay. Right. Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Where?
Okay.
Right here.
As I say, we're a tough crowd. We haven't even started. We only started with the heckling. Maybe getting carried away from the State of the Union last week that had more heckling. That was a very English-style political debate with all this backwards and forwards.
That's
But
the
anyway.
one I've heard yet.
Right. Okay. So
With the
thank you
heckle.
all for coming out. I know we changed the time from 7:30 to 7 o'clock, and then we moved Mincha to 6 o'clock. So therefore, we shortened the time. But tonight we have a wonderful program by Rabbi Goodman from the Philadelphia Labs, who quite literally wrote the book on Shatnez. He wrote a book, and a lot to say for that. I believe you give out to those people who are learning Hilchos Shatnez. I know you let me have a look at it.
Well behaved.
If they're well behaved. Rabbi Goodman, let me tell you, is any shul Rob's dream, because he does so much of the hands-on part of Yiddishkeit with his Shatnez checking and his Safros and Nidomaros and all his expertise from his scientific knowledge. So having Rabbi Goodman here really is absolutely fantastic, and I hope he knows how much I appreciate him. I always pick his brains and about lots of things, and it's really fantastic, certainly for me and for our Kehillah, to have somebody of the caliber and the knowledge of Moshe Goodman here with us. So without any further ado, I was thinking of some references to Shatnez in this week's parsha. It would have been great if we had the parsha that mentioned Shatnez, but I came up with two references, sort of, right? Not see if you think they're tedious references. One is it talks about your clothes. It's just gone out of my head where it talks about your giving the when you take away from a poor person. It says his talis, his cloak, his tunic. So that's clothes, and Shatnez is usually found or in clothes. So I thought that could be a reference. And another idea I found is what's unique, or not unique, but a couple of mitzvahs or averos that include Shatnez, and what we have in this week's parsha is basar v'cholov, the prohibition of having mixed milk and meat, which is that both milk on its own and meat on its own, provided from a kosher animal and all that stuff, are kosher and acceptable to eat. The same as with wool and linen. Wool on its own is fine, and linen on its own is fine, but it's when you mix them together that you have the problem. So since we have basar v'cholov, I thought that would be a tedious link for Shatnez. So without any further ado, Reb Moshe Goodman.
Thank you. So I thought I'd start at the very beginning, which is that in the Torah, there are three basic categories of three different sections of what we call forbidden mixtures. Does anybody know what the three are? Yes.
Basar v'cholov?
No. Forbidden mixtures. That we're not talking about kashrut.
Oh, linen and wool?
Well, okay, so that would be Shatnez, that would be clothing, right? Does anybody know what the other two are? Okay, well, the other ones are with animals, right? You're not allowed to work.
Meat.
You're not allowed to mate them, and you're not allowed to work dissimilar animals. According to Rambam, it would be a kosher and a non-kosher animal, because in the Torah it mentions a kosher and non-kosher animal. And what is the last one? Anybody?
Two kosher animals.
What?
Aren't there two kosher animals that can't work together?
No, according to Rambam, it will be a kosher and a non-kosher, like a donkey and an ox.
Grafting species.
Yes,
Seeds.
right. And that would be the third category. Tonight, we're only talking about one category. We're going to be talking about Shatnez, and there's a lot of things to talk about here. I would encourage anybody who has any questions, shout out. Can they do that on anybody on Zoom?
Well, I haven't muted it, so
What?
I haven't muted
Okay,
the Zoom.
then we're good. So if anybody has a question on Zoom, please do the same. Okay. So mitzvahs in general fall into two categories. There we have what are called mishpatim. Mishpatim are generally the mitzvahs we understand. You shouldn't kill, you shouldn't steal, okay? And then we have chokim, okay? One of the things that falls under a chokim is kashrut. Okay, I know people make up all kinds of things about why we keep kosher, but it's still a chok. We really don't know why we keep kosher. And Shatnez also falls in that, and it's actually a chok. Now, to start out, I thought I would just tell you, since I told you there are all people make up all kinds of reasons, I thought I would bring out a story, which is actually the first Shatnez story in the Torah. Okay, it's referred to as the jealousy between two brothers. Who are they? They're Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. Sorry. So it's brought down that in the Torah it says Cain brought from the plants, and Abel brought from the flock. And okay, that those two didn't get along, and the Rambam also brings us down. It's because the jealousy between the two, that one had their sacrifices accepted, and the other one did not. I will move over here.
No,
Can I
no,
move
no.
over here? Turn that.
It's blank.
No,
There's
that's somebody else's phone.
Okay,
Rabbi Goodman's in the bottom here.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm in the bottom. That's good. I can always work my way.
Front and center.
Okay, so Cain and Abel, they bring that, and so what happens is one ends up killing the other, and they say that this is the reason that the flock and the plants, right? One is really related to linen, and the other is related to wool. Okay, and that's why one of the reasons they give about not wearing shorts. Okay, so Shatnez is a little bit different than other mitzvahs. For example, okay, if you were to have, you don't have like bittul by Shatnez in a way, because even if you have one little tiny thread, okay, even it's small, it's Shatnez, okay, and
Oh, tell me I need to let people in on Zoom. Oops.
what?
Don't know why they're doing this. Let me see.
Should I continue or?
Yeah, you continue.
Now, one of the things I've also found that people have a misconception about with Shatnez is they think that Shatnez only applies to men, okay, because men bring their suits. And but Shatnez applies to both men and women and children. So if you have any of those garments, they have to be, they might have Shatnez in them, they have to be checked. So the Torah has two psukim, two passages related to Shatnez. The first is about wearing Shatnez. And it says, Lo tilbash Shatnez, semer upishtim yachta. That means you should not wear, right, Shatnez, which is semer. Okay, we learned that semer can only be from a sheep and no other species. And pishtim is only from a plant called the flax plant. From the flax plant, we extract a fiber that's called linen. Okay? So an example of this would be a garment that contains wool and linen together. Okay? Or some people say if you had a linen shirt, you're wearing a linen shirt, and a wool jacket on top of that, because you can't remove the linen shirt and then the jacket on top, that could be Shatnez as well. Cool. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast?
No.
Okay. Now, the other mitzvah Shatnez is, it says, Beged Klein Shatnez Lo Ya'alecha. That if you have a garment of Shatnez, it cannot come upon you. So this is a covering kind of thing. So this would include blankets and pillows and oven mitts and